So once again, welcome to today's Let's Talk Wellness. I'm Jen Totten. I'm part of the Be Well Ground team for PSEG. We do have some of my counterparts on this call here too, a part of the Be Well Ground team. So first, I just wanted to get started. Feel free to grab a piece of snack, a piece of food, because we will be doing some exercises as we go along. So feel free to take this intro part to grab something to eat. I do have some strawberries and a banana next to me right now. So once we do get started, we have this next to us. So first, welcome to mindful eating. All right, a new way to experience your food, really. This topic here today is probably you haven't thought of much lately, which is understandable. And it's not rocket scientist, I will tell you guys, but it could make a big difference in how you relate to the food. The goal of this webinar and this 30 minutes right here is to show you how to experience food. Really the colors, the smells, the flavors, and even textures in a new way. So it's about eating slower and more thoughtfully, and it's an integral part of managing a healthy weight. You'll avoid overeating and make healthier choices, and you'll really enjoy the food. All right, so let's dive in a little bit deeper for you guys. So to begin, let's take a quick look at the term mindfulness. It's a term that we hear a lot these days, especially in COVID times, yet many not know what it's really meant by it. So here is one definition for you. Mindfulness is a practice of purposely focusing your attention on the present moment and accepting it without judgment. Here's another definition. Mindfulness is deliberating, paying attention, being fully aware of what is happening both inside yourself, in your body, heart, and mind, and outside yourself, within your environment. So one way to practice mindfulness is to consciously quiet your mind and all those random thoughts that compete for your attention and can distract you from your surroundings, and just really allow your senses to connect you to the moment. So to begin here, let's talk about some mindful eating, okay? Mindful eating really is defined as a practice that develops your awareness of eating habits and allow you to pause between your food cues and your actions, all right? We may want to unpack this a little bit, but know that there is no right or wrong way to eat, but there is a varying degree of awareness around the experience of food, okay? So part of mindful eating is being aware of physical and emotional cues as they relate to food and understanding the difference between them. You know there are hunger pains, right? Your stomach is growling. Then there's times that you're restless or you're bored or you're tired and upset, and you have a sudden craving for those chips or cookies. So it's really being aware of those non-hunger cues and finding others to have a healthier way to meet your emotional needs. All right. So mindful eating is also being aware of how you buy, prepare, eat your foods. It's also about choosing foods that give you both enjoyment and nourishment, and eating them more enjoyably and in a nourishing way. So really think about it. Like I know I always say, never go to a grocery store hungry, right? You always want to buy more. There's going to be more in your cart than you originally came with. Okay, that is one way of thinking, being mindful. Okay, really like understanding our emotions and our hunger cues in there as well. So now that we know a little bit about what mindful eating is, has anyone ever heard of mindless eating? Feel free to open up the chat. So we talked about mindful. I want to talk about mindless. Anyone hear about mindless eating? Nope. All right. So imagine hearing a fast food commercial on the radio and suddenly you're craving the food, right? Or a commercial on TV and a few minutes later you're thinking, I could really go for that burger right now. Or French fries or some chicken nuggets, or all of the above. So that is mindless eating. Also, another part about mindless eating is where stuff is positioned within the grocery store or positioned within a restaurant too, think about it. What you see on the grocery store shelves right there in the middle is what they want you to grab for. So as long as it's not in your sight, that's also another way to determine it. Okay. So once it's in your plain peripheral vision, you're more likely to indulge in those items. Okay. Mindless eating is consuming foods for reasons other than being hungry, ultimately. Sometimes it's because it's just there. Like I mentioned, where it's located on that grocery aisle, okay? It's eating while being distracted or eating for emotional reasons, like when you're feeling anxious or bored. So simply as stated, it's like not paying attention to what you eat, or when you're watching TV and you're eating while you're texting, eating while you're working. It's that mindless eating action that you're doing. Okay. Mindless eating can lead to being overweight and even obesity. And as you probably know, these conditions are linked to a range of other health conditions or health risks. So it's important that you eat for the right reasons and basically because you're hungry. Okay. There's a research and a TED talk that was 2012. It's definitely an older TED talk that talks about mindless eating and where to position your fruit. Position your fruit on the counter so you'll grab the fruit as opposed to if there's chips on the counter. And it's really creating that mindset of going for the healthier options as opposed to the unhealthy options. So we're gonna go over to one more item. So this is where we're gonna start to practice our mindful bites. Right now, I want you to grab something simple to eat. We are gonna learn to slow down and really savor snacks in a healthy habit that could benefit other parts of our life. So we're gonna explore further. So right now, I just want for you to grab something to eat, and we will begin in just 1 minute. So I'm just going to pause right here for you to grab something to eat. There's actually a message in the chat that I received about mindless eating. What if you're waiting hours to eat consciously, but you do when you go overboard? That is another example of mindless eating or mindful eating as well. Yep. So, all right, we are going to. All right, everyone got the.
Welcome to the Mindful Bite session. For this session, you'll need to have something to eat. It can be something really simple, like an apple or granola bar. So stop the recording and grab something to eat.
We all have our piece of fruit, right? I got my strawberries.
Eating is a part of our everyday lives and a wonderful opportunity to practice mindfulness. So often, we hurry through eating, or we eat while driving, walking, or watching TV. Even if we're sitting down to eat, we may be thinking about what we have to do next or caught in a conversation, not really tasting or enjoying our food. In this meditation, we'll apply mindfulness to eating. So sit down with your snack or meal in front of you. Now, notice what you're feeling with the expectation of eating. Again, maybe your mouth is watering. Notice the sensations in your mouth, even before you've taken a bite. Now use your senses to really notice the food. See how it looks. What's its shape? Its texture? What's the color? Now take your first bite. Now notice what it feels like to have the food in your mouth. Is your food crunchy? Is it soft? Juicy? How about chewy? Does the flavor change as you bite into it? What does it taste like? Don't swallow just yet. But notice the muscles in your throat working, preparing to swallow. Okay, now go ahead and swallow. And as you're swallowing, notice the muscles in your throat working as your food moves down into your body. Then take another bite. Again, notice moving your hand to your mouth. Then tasting. Then chewing. And don't rush as you chew. Really slow it down and bring your mindfulness, bring your awareness to this process of chewing. And when it's time, go ahead and swallow. As you bring your awareness to eating, your mind might get lost in thinking or planning or remember. Gently, gently, gently bring it back to this very simple act of noticing your food and the sensations of your body as you eat. When you finish eating, take a few moments to notice what's changed. See how your body feels after eating. Great. As you go into your day, maybe make a commitment to take a few mindful bites with each meal or snack to practice mindful eating.
Oh, how was that? Feel free to write in the chat, turn your camera on. I do have some follow-up questions for you. With that, one, so we're going to start discussing about mindful bites. When was the last time you ate something that way? You could say never. You could say one time, 2 times, 3 times, never. Interesting, right? Like just to hold a piece of strawberry in my hand right now, I'm feeling all those little seeds that bumps, right? I can't see what you guys are eating right now, but for strawberries, I'm really feeling the texture of a strawberry. I felt the crunch going when I was biting into it. What did you feel? What sense did you feel? Was it the smell? Was it the taste? Is it the texture? What got to you? Feel free to put in the chat. So yep, never even thought about food in that way. Perfect. Yep. It's interesting, right? When you stop and take a few minutes to eat a strawberry. I mean, strawberries are so tiny that a couple of bites of this would have been done, or these 5 strawberries would have been done in those 5 minutes. Okay, juices stood out more in my apple. Fantastic. I had cheeses and it was smooth. I never noticed, to be honest. Okay, fantastic. Good. Pineapple, notice more of the juices. Fantastic. So why mindful eating might be important? think I just touched upon that part. So anyone feel why that mindful exercise might be important to you? And one for me, in 5 minutes, I just had 2 strawberries, right? So it might slow down the process to eat, and you could really, slow down your metabolism, make you eat slower and aware you're eating. Perfect, guys. Fantastic. A+ there. So how can you, the third question I have here, how can you eat more mindfully in life? What is one tactic that you might be able to do so you can, slow down your eating? Another one is to not eat in front of the TV, right? Is to eat down at a table so you don't have any distractions around you. Keeping your cell phone at the counter, at the table, or away from the table, I should say. That's another one. Set aside time for meals. Fantastic. I know I struggle with setting time aside for meals. With the kids, they want to eat earlier than I do. But we always try to make a time, set aside the time for meals too, without a doubt. Perfect. Awesome. So we are going to go to one more exercise. And this exercise here is going to about savoring the good. Okay. Savoring the good right here. So again, grab something that you like to eat. It could be something different right now. I'm just going to pull it up here for you. And we'll give you a moment, and we're going to savor the good.
Welcome to the Savor the Good session. For this practice, you'll need something to eat that you love, like a piece of chocolate. So go ahead and pause the session to grab something to eat.
I got apples, bananas. I even have pirate booty too.
As we noticed in the Mindful Bite session, we often eat without even noticing what we're eating, even when it's something that we love, like a chocolate bar or a bag of chips. Have you ever gotten to the bottom of the bag and wondered where they went? We miss out on enjoying the pleasure in our lives, not just when we eat, but in many other activities. We can get caught thinking about the past or future, worrying about what might happen. We miss the sun coming through the window, the beautiful flowers we pass on the way to school, or a smile from a friend. In this meditation, we'll really savor the pleasant tastes of food and use this practice as a way of enjoying pleasure in our lives. So go ahead and sit down with your food in front of you. Now, place a small piece between your lips. And just feel the texture and temperature on your lips. We're not going to eat it. We're just placing a small piece on our lips. As the desire isn't to just shove it in your mouth because you love this food. If so, that's okay. We're just noticing what's arising. Now go ahead and put this piece in your mouth and feel the food on your tongue without biting it. Just feel it in your mouth. You can roll it around on your tongue. If it's chocolate, it might start to melt. How does it change as it's in your mouth? And then notice what it tastes like. So go ahead and start chewing. Notice, is it crunchy? Is it soft or chewy or juicy? Maybe the flavor changes as you bite into it. Notice the taste and where you experience that taste on your tongue. Are you noticing the impulse to rush through chewing? Do you want to just go ahead and swallow it? Just notice that impulse without giving into it. When you need to swallow, see how far down your throat you can feel the food moving, and really be there for that moment as the food moves out of your mouth down your throat. As you finish the food, notice any thoughts or feelings you have now, any insights you may have had from really savoring what you are eating. As you go into your day, stay attuned to things you like. If you notice a beautiful sight or smell or food that you like, maybe an effort to stop and really enjoy them. Just stop, take in what's beautiful and pleasant, let it sink into your body, and then move on. Savor what's good in your life.
Awesome. All righty. Some follow-up questions from that. How did that exercise make you feel? I got a message here. The food tastes very bland, right? Not the same taste at all. I have white cheddar pirate booty. I did. So I wanted the crunch, right? I had no crunch. There was no crunch at all. It just totally melted in my mouth to just disintegrate, actually. So how did that exercise make you feel? Feel free to make comments in the chat. Did your food taste different? We just said it was bland and no crunch. I did have the initial, say, white cheddar taste, but after it was just sitting on my tongue, there was no white cheddar taste at all. So I think with this, like, you could just savor the good, and it just really goes to show you how much our senses and our emotional attachment potentially have to dictate what food we eat. I also too will say I did have COVID back in January. I lost my taste and smell. And let me tell you, I did not want to pick up this pirate booty. So like, I can't taste it. Why am I going to have it when I can't taste it? So it's very interesting how our taste and our smell and what we are used to could have us put what in our mouth here. So those are some great exercises that we just did. Those 2 exercises, they took 5 minutes, but you could use this in your daily life, okay? Daily life, weekly life, or even just monthly. Revisit these exercises about different foods that you do eat, or to reset your mind. One of the things I do want to mention here as we're coming up on time is to just really practice pause. If there's one thing to take away from here today is take a 5-step exercise that we could call pause. Okay. P, it stands for pause between the urge to eat and actually eating. Take a few mindful breaths. A, I want you to assess your hunger. Ask yourself, am I really hungry or not? U is to understand what's prompting you to want the food that if you're really not that hungry. S is to sit with that feeling like we just did for those 5 minutes. You'll be amazed at how often it will despite you with little time to switch your mind. Okay. And finally, E, evaluate what works. Okay. So that take a few minutes to sit there and pause. And I hope you enjoyed today's mindful eating session. You were able to give your food your full attention in 5 minutes. I was able to eat 1 strawberry. really by focusing on each bite and sensation you eat, you're not only enjoying the meals more, but you'll give your body time to realize when it's full. So use the foods you really like as a trigger to really slow down and just really enjoy them. Treat each one with each smell, the taste, the texture, and bite through them as you never will see this meal again. Okay. So just to recap before we leave today, mindful eating is really paying attention to your food, whether it's buying it, preparing it, and or eating it. So thank you for coming to these Let's Talk Wellness. We do have another Let's Talk Wellness happening next week. It's all about nutrition one-on-one. So feel free to come back on next Tuesday, same time, same place, same link, 12:30 to 1 every Tuesday. Thank you guys. If you have any questions, I'll stick around for the chat. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Thank you.